Well, unfortunately I've had to do a voiceover on this video. I didn't really want to have to do that, but I lost all the audio for some reason. It was just crackling and everything, so I didn't want to scrap the video, because it'd be a handy video for a lot of you out there with a Mini Cooper S 1.6 turbo. So I decided to do the video anyway, and give it a voiceover. Well, we'll get on with it now. Well, here, you got the sump nut underneath, right there. I have already cracked this off the video, but obviously you undo that. I'll put the sizes in the description for everything that I've used. That's draining now, so we'll probably go up the top now and do the air filter or something like that. The air filter here, that's it right there. It has 4 bolts along the front. They're actually Torx. The same again, I'll put the link in the description for that, for the sizes. You have to disconnect the air pipe, as you can see there, which is either a flathead, a Phillips, or I think it's a 7mm nut on it, but I'll also put that in the description. And all it does, it lifts up and hinges back, and there's like 3 little clips at the back where it locates. It's quite simple to change that, to be honest. Pull your filter out carefully, just try not to avoid any crap falling back in. This one's not too bad, but we've got the new part, so we'll just put a new one in anyway. As you can see, the box is pretty clean. I might give it a quick hoover out just before I put the other filter back. Same as most of my videos, I use Bosch filters. I just find them good quality. You can use cheaper filters if you want to. I just prefer to use good quality ones. It's just what I'm used to, and it's a confidence thing. I just trust them filters. I've never had any issues with them breaking up or anything. Give it a good press around the edge, make sure it's seated properly. Locate the 3 tabs at the back, and then the box just drops down into place. Just like that. When you do these up, don't over tighten them, because you'll just strip the threads. Just be careful with them. As soon as they stop, just give it a tiny little turn, that's tight enough. You would normally refit this now, but as you'll see later in the video, well, I'm actually showing it now, as you can see, the oil filter's buried way down there, so we need to remove quite a few parts just to get to it, give us some access. Remove that clamp from the turbo pipe. It's the same as the other end of the air pipe, flathead Phillips, or it's the 7mm like screwdriver thing that I use. It's like a nut, but I will put it down in the description. Fold that pipe back out the way, then you can get to the header tank. Basically that's where your coolant goes in. You got that 1 bolt there, and then it unclips. It just rests on top of it. If you fold this around and rest it down the front, in the next clip you'll see I put a towel there, but really you need the towel there straight away to stop any of the coolant dripping on the car, and it stops it scratching the car as well. I've blocked the pipe with the towel just to try and stop the coolant constantly dripping, or to stop any crap falling in there. If you look below there, you can actually see the air filter, the oil filter housing right there. Now you've got plenty of access to get to it. What I've done is I've put a towel underneath it just to catch any drips. I have already loosened it at this point. They are pretty easy to loosen, they're not tight. It's just a plastic housing, but just try and catch any drips of oil with the towel down there. Well, we'll get this filter out now and put the other one in. Same again, Bosch filters. It's just what I use, you don't have to use the same. I just have confidence in them. And you got an O-ring there, that's actually for the housing. So, get the old filter out. I've got a little pick tool here, which I'll put under the O-ring. It just makes it a lot easier to get off. It's got oil on it, so it's quite slippy. You'll be there all day trying to do it with your fingers. Put this on, but try not to twist it as it goes on. And don't stretch it too much either, if that makes sense. it can roll and twist a lot. The Bosch ones are usually pretty good, but I have had cheaper ones break on me. You want to give it a coating of oil as well around the O-ring before you refit it. It just stops it pinching on the last bit when you're tightening it up. That's the filter back in. Just press it down into place and that's it done. I'm explaining now to put a bit of oil around it before you refit it. Refitting it, it's just a case of dropping it back in. Turn it anti-clockwise a few turns and you'll feel it sort of click into place. Then you can tighten it clockwise. If you try and tighten it clockwise straight away, you might struggle and end up cross-threading it. And that's it now, it's all back together. The oil filter was torqued back up to 25 Newton meters. I've refitted all this just to shorten the video, but it just all needs tightening up. It's just the same process as removing it though, so you didn't really need to see it. Make sure your turbo clamps tight as well. Well, that's that. Onto the cabin filter now, which is located underneath the glove box. That black plastic housing right there. You've got 2 clips on this. Get a flat blade screwdriver and gently pry it in the little gaps there that you can see. I'll do it now if you watch. That's it, just a little bit, not too far, because you will break the plastic. And then it just drops down. This filter actually isn't fitted correctly. It's hanging down and it looks like it's just been forced up there. In a second you'll see the grooves that are there to refit it. I just vacuumed this car before this video. I've got all mess on the carpets again. As you can see there, look on the left hand side there's a groove. It's the same on the other side, it's just hard to see on the video. That's the groove you use to slide in the new filter. It's also directional. The direction flows from the top down, according to the other filter that I removed. But as you can see here, look, just keep it inside those grooves on both sides and just gently feed it in. Don't go crazy, and it does actually go in alright, it's not too bad. This is a really easy job. You'll see at the end now, where I push it in to the final position, it does bend it up a little bit, but there's nothing you can do about that. And that's it now. Close it and it's clipped up in place, job done. This is a brand new sump nut I'm putting in. You don't have to use a brand new one, but I would suggest you get a new crush washer just to avoid any leaks. But this is about £1.50 for the new nut and the new washer. Now I'm wiping off any excess oil just to check for any leaks when I come to fill it up. Just get it really clean. If there's no oil there now, and when you fill the oil up, you see oil dripping if there's a leak there. Just get it as clean as you can. That's the oil cap. What I generally do is I'll add 3.5 to 4 litres straight off, and then I'll slowly top it up until I get to the maximum. Once it's at the maximum, I'll jump in the car, start the car and leave it running for 30 seconds to a minute just to fill up the oil filter housing. I'll let it settle again for 10 to 15 minutes and then I'll top it up to the maximum again and just make sure the level's right. I've already done that in this process here. Obviously I've skipped a few processes just to keep the video short. But do not overfill the oil. If you overfill it, don't think, oh, it'll be fine. Just drain a little bit out from underneath, or drain it all and start again. Right, onto the spark plugs. Lift that tab up, not all the way, part of the way, and as you pull the clip, it lifts up all the way. These coil packs now, don't pull on that plastic right there. What you need to do is get your hands, get a finger underneath, and actually try and hold the coil pack, and then it'll pop out like so. If you pull on that plastic, you will break it. This is actually a special tool. I don't actually know what it's called, to be honest, but it needs to be the narrow socket, and it has like it's a bit like torque teeth inside it. I think I do actually show it in a moment. Well, that's that plug out. As you can see, the teeth around it there, look, it's not a normal shaped nut, so you do have to get a special tool to do it, and it has to be a really thin walled one. I will try and put a link in the description for one. This is also magnetic, so it holds the plugs, as you can see. Thread it slowly. If you feel any tension, stop, because you're cross threading it, but as you can see, it goes in fine. And what you want to do is, once it bottoms out hand tight, you give it quarter to half a turn. But I think I showed this in the video. Sorry about this voiceover. It's just a shame to scrap this video because it is quite good to help people out. I just didn't want to delete it all. It probably took me 4 hours to film it all properly. And that's it. Refit the car pack and do the same process for the other 3. Push that back in, and as you see the tab starts to drop, and then just close the tab, and that's that fitted and job done. Inside the car now, what I'm going to do is reset this aisle service light. Put it in ignition, press the button once, it comes up on here saying service, everything's gone. There's a button here, press and hold that button in. As you can see, it's popped up there. It come up the first time with VIN. I don't know why it was doing that. But anyway, end of the stalk then. You can cycle through all the different ones. And there's your oil reset. Press and hold that. It comes up reset. Press and hold the button again. And now it's got like a little clock. It's now reset back to 21,000 miles. So that's how you reset the oil service light. Well, that's the service complete. It's not actually too bad, it's pretty easy to be honest. I've reset all the oil service warning and everything now, so that's all done. And that's pretty much it, the job's done. I'll put a link down below in the description for all the tools that I've used, with the sizes, torque specs, all that sort of stuff like I normally do. I hope you're all staying safe through this coronavirus pandemic, and hopefully we'll be out of it soon and I can get you some more content. I'm struggling with the content at the moment, obviously because of this virus, but I'll get what I can uploaded and get what I can done. If you can, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.